What's good, Wait a minute. Something doesn't feel right. I think I know what it is. Hold on. Ha! Now that's more like it. Got my costume on. Happy Halloween! But anyway, what's good, my fellow YouTube friends and family members? Welcome back. And today we're here to review the newest SML movie, The Lasagna Halloween. Now, not sure what to expect. Hopefully this will be good. But by the looks of the thumbnail, it looks like instead of Halloween candy, it looks like they're going to be receiving lasagna. Like, that would be crazy. Imagine if you went trick-or-treating one night, and instead of getting candy, some random house is giving out full-course 5-star meals. Like, I don't know what to say. But honestly, with that being said, you guys already know what to do. Hope you guys had a happy Halloween. And make sure you go and subscribe to SML. And if you guys want to watch the original video, link is in the description down below. And to confirm, if you watch my full review from beginning to end, make sure you comment 5 Halloween emojis of your choice. But that being said, let's begin. Also, let me know what you guys were for Halloween. So to start off the video, Brooklyn Guy is dressed up as Harry Potter, and Karen is dressed up like an Olympic athlete with a whole bunch of different stuff. And they still have that cat, Christopher Walkington. They dressed him up as a gremlin, saying, "Do not feed me after midnight, meow." And then Karen made Brooklyn Guy lasagna for dinner, and then he says it smells bad. And actually, Karen didn't actually burn the lasagna for once. So then Karen asks this Brooklyn Guy if he can hand out the Halloween candy to the trick-or-treaters. And he's like, "But I'm watching the World Series game." And she's like, "You watch that every game. Halloween only comes once a year. You can watch the game anytime." And then he's like, "The World Series also comes once a year." So then we get a knock on the door, and I'm assuming Brooklyn Guy is going to be sarcastic and tell a long story whenever he passes out the trick-or-treaters their candy. So then we see Jeffy dressed up as Garfield, Marvin over here dressing like Hubba Bubba, and then Rose is over here dressed like a Hershey Kiss. And then Brooklyn Guy answers the door, and Jeffy says, "Lasagna time, I want lasagna." And Brooklyn Guy's like, "No, hold on, if you want lasagna, I have lasagna." So then Marvin's surprised that Brooklyn Guy actually had lasagna just waiting for him. And I'm assuming Brooklyn Guy is going to lie to Karen and say that he actually ate the lasagna. And bruh, he really put the lasagna in that plastic, well not plastic, but plastic and fabric Halloween bucket that lights up. Jeffy, I hope you clean out that bucket when you get home, because if you don't, the stench of meat outside the fridge is gonna stink as hell. So then Karen comes into the living room giving Brooklyn Guy the fork for his lasagna, and then after a whole conversation, Brooklyn Guy admitted that he lied to Karen, saying that he didn't eat the lasagna and he gave it away to the person who was dressed like Garfield. And she forced Brooklyn Guy to eat another slice of her stinky lasagna. So then she gives Brooklyn Guy the bowl of candy to pass out to the trick-or-treaters, and then she leaves, and he hears the doorbell ring, and he shakes the bowl like, "I'm gonna give this candy to the trick-or-treaters," and then just picks up the bowl of lasagna and brings it to Junior and his friends. And Junior over here dressed like Bing Bong from Inside Out, Joseph dressed up like a purple dinosaur, and Cody over here dressed up like Lego My Eggo Waffles. And then Brooklyn Guy hands him the lasagna. He's like, "Hey, you want this fucking lasagna?" And he's like, "No, you're supposed to give us candy. You got Twix on that lasagna?" And he's like, "Hold on, you want Twix?" He's like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Well, this dude," and Joseph's like, "Yeah, lasagna me up, my nigga." And then Brooklyn Guy tells them to say, "Thanks for the candy, mister," out loud, so Karen could be able to hear. Like, bruh, I'll bet you Karen's gonna ask to smell your breath again. You are not that slick, Brooklyn Guy. You bet you didn't think about that. So then after that, Karen confronts Brooklyn Guy again about the lasagna. Then she asks the cat, Christopher Walkington, if Brooklyn Guy really ate the lasagna, and Brooklyn Guy's like, "Yeah, answer the question, and you better say, be careful what you say, or else you're gonna live on the street." And he's like, "Meow." And Karen's like, well, you know, it's funny, Bunny, because I saw that on the doorbell camera. You gave the kids lasagna and told them to say, thank you for the candy, mister, really out loud for my benefits. And then Brooklyn Guy tells her that he really doesn't want to eat her stinky lasagna. And she's like, but why not, Bunny? You just gotta try it. And I brought you an extra slice. And he's like, why do you keep bringing me lasagna? I clearly don't want it. And then he hears another trick-or-treat at the door. He's like, oh, I'm gonna give them candy. And as he's carrying the lasagna right in front of her face, she's like, Boynie, put the lasagna down, give him the candy. He's like, all right, fine, it's just a force to have it. So then we see Mitch Fitzpatrick and Mikey trick-or-treating together. Like, why is a kindergartner going trick-or-treating with their teacher? And then for some reason, he's calling her mom. But didn't Mikey constantly say during the kindergarten series that his mom died and he thought that his dad killed his mom? Like, bro, what the hell's going on? So Mikey over here dressed up like a Star Wars Jedi, and then Miss Fitzpatrick is over here dressed up like a bumblebee, and then Broken Guy's like, ooh, boo, bee, show me your tits right now and you can have the whole bowl of candy. And he's like, you know what? This candy is honestly trash. You want the good shit? Meet me in the back. And so they actually meet him in the back, and then Broken Guy looks around, picks up the lasagna, gives the kid the lasagna, puts it in the bucket, but secretly at the back door, Karen's secretly watching Brooklyn Guy through the blinds, and then he goes back inside the house, and Karen's like, Boynie, I want you to answer me this question honestly. Did you really make that kid meet you all the way in the back and give him the lasagna? And he's like, mm-hmm. So then Karen forces Brooklyn Guy to follow her, and then she sits down another plate of lasagna, and then she's like, I'm done fucking around. You're gonna eat my stinky food. And she admitted that it was stinky, and Brooklyn Guy's like, I don't wanna. But then he proceeds to call 911. He says, 911, what's my emergency? And puts the phone on the lasagna. He says, that. And then Brooklyn Guy hears another trick-or-treat at the door, and Karen's like, nope, you're not gonna do this again. And he's like, all right, why don't we go into the door together? And she's like, okay. And then he tells Christopher Walken to eat the fucking lasagna. And he's like, hey, yo, bro, what the hell? So then, the next person we see at the door wanting candy is Shrek, dressed up like Eeyore. He's like, trick or treat, smell my ass, give me something for my bowels to pass. Like, bruh, the last few times we got an SML trick or treat quotes, the first one was trick or treat, beat my meat, give me something to stick in my ass from like 2017 or something. Then the second one we got from last year from Jeffy again was trick or treat, smell my dick, give me something sweet to lick. And now from Shrek this year, it's trick or treat, smell my ass, give me something for my bowels to pass. Honestly, out of those three quotes, which one is your favorite? And then Brooklyn Guy is seeing Christopher Walken smell the lasagna and gagging, and he's like, you better eat that fucking shit. And then Karen asks Brooklyn Guy, what's that? And he's like, I sneezed, bless you. And then while she's doing that, Karen hands Shrek 3 handfuls, like grab handfuls of candy and puts in Shrek's bucket. Like, golly, how much candy you gonna give that ogre? So then Christopher Walken smacks the lasagna off the counter, and Brooklyn Guy's like, yes. So then, after Shrek leaves, Karen's like, all right, come on, it's time to go eat the lasagna. And Brooklyn Guy's like, not this time. And he's like, oh no, what the fuck happened? And then the lasagna lands on the counter right next to the sink. And Karen's like, well, you know what? It only landed on the counter, so I think you can still eat it. And then Brooklyn Guy's like, oh, fuck you, cat, I hate you. But before he even said that, Karen's like, oh, you stupid fucking cat, you knocked the lasagna over. And Brooklyn Guy's like, hey, don't blame the cat, he doesn't know any better. Then we get the whole scene where Brooklyn Guy's like, oh, fuck you, stupid cat, I hate you. So Brooklyn Guy is literally forced to eat a piece of lasagna that fell onto the counter. And he's like, I'm not gonna eat this. I want a divorce. And Karen's like, you can have your divorce after you eat this shitty food. This is the last slice. And he's like, this is the last slice, you say, right? Then he proceeds to pick it up and throw it on the ground. And Karen's like, you're such a child. And they have a whole conversation. And Karen ends up beating Brooklyn Guy's ass with her boxing gloves. And there's no SML question. Like, where's the hell's the SML question? Like, all there was at the end was just the advertisement for the new Junior U2s. But honestly, this was a pretty mediocre video, not gonna lie. So on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm gonna give this video a solid 4 out of 10. But anyway, with that being said, you guys already know what to do. Hope y'all had a happy Halloween, got a lot of candy. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. And if you guys want to watch the original video, link will be in the description down below. Make sure you go and subscribe to SML. And to confirm if you watch my full review from beginning to end, make sure you comment 5 Halloween emojis and let me know what you dressed up as for Halloween. But with that being said, I'll catch you guys next time. Until then, peace out.